Alright boys, I'm doing the van flip. This van was in bad fire damage. You can see the headliner, it all burned up and it's just a burnt mess up here. Here's a little bit of fiberglass from the original headliner. You can see the wiring harness up here burned off. You can see the damage to this rubber. You can see the melted off seat belts, and like this panel here, you can see up here it just melted up. Here's what's left of it. And the seats, you can see, are all burned up. And we're trying to do it as cost effective as possible to restore it all. See, the headliner just had everything burned off but the cardboard part. And so you can see the steering wheel, I cleaned it up a lot. It was way worse, so it's actually looking a lot better. We're gonna actually restore this. And I cleaned the heck out of this with just Windex. I had to remove the whole seat, which is there, in order to do some electrical work in here. Underneath here I did some electrical work to fix the windows, and so now the windows are working. You can see the window motor got pretty badly burned up and it still works. I took this out and I got it all working. I tested it. This chain was being prevented from sliding back and forth, so I actually cut away the chain guard right here and right there in order to access the chain, and I had to like chip off molten plastic from between these little links. I had to like clean it up so that the teeth that turn that chain, this is like a bike chain, they grip into these teeth, so these teeth need to be all cleared out. Once I did that, the motor was able to turn it again. I got it all working. I've tested rolling up and down the window, it works, but some of the wiring was messed up, so I had to do some electrical work underneath there, and now I got it all working. But the windows need to be cleaned up because there's a lot of soot from the fire in between the cracks, so I need to roll it down and do the window cleaning method up in there and then go from there in order to lubricate and clean the window slide so it rolls down quicker. One of the big problems that wasn't even fire related was this messy floor liner here. You could see it has a big hole in it. My dad just put a ton of duct tape. So what I did is I pulled off the duct tape, I used Goo Gone, and I cleaned it all up really good. And so now it's ready to be repaired. I'm gonna actually repair this floor liner. I bet this is a common problem because this padding actually flattens out with time on the back of the floor liner. And then there's some wire looms that run under here that stick up really high, right where your heel goes and stuff when you're driving. And you can see these big heavy wires are all coming up, and there's like high spots. And so I just filled all the low spots with a bunch of silicone, and I just piled it all up in order to make it all one smooth hump, so there's no like jutting sharp things that can eventually pierce through. Look how it pierced through all the insulation here, and the insulation just disappeared and was crumbled away, and then it went through the liner. So we're actually gonna, now that we've smoothed that out, now the insulation can sit on it, we're gonna repair or replace the little bit of insulation that goes over that in order just to beef it up a little bit more, or at least cut it back, do the repair from the back side, and then glue it back down or something like that, and then maybe add a little bit more insulation than what is there now. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm going to let you guys watch me work. I'm going to be able to fix this thing to look completely new. I'm actually going to be using a leather repair kit, but it didn't come with enough of the black leather repair compound. It's leather / vinyl repair. Their repair is the same thing for both. So actually I'm going to be able to make my own compound using textile compound DIY tactics, which involve creating my own textile medium and my own coloring additive to mix in with acrylic artist paints. So you use acrylic artist paints and your own DIY textile medium. Textile medium is made by white vinegar, vegetable glycerin, and water. Makes textile medium. You mix that in with your acrylic, and that causes you to have a resulting leather and vinyl repair compound, which can also be used for painting designs onto a shirt or t-shirt. It's the same formula, and it can also be used for repairing leather or vinyl. So like I'll use the same compound to repair the vinyl steering wheel, and I'll even be able to add the leather texture by taking hot glue, putting it all over the leather, peeling it off. Then you have that texture marked on the hot glue. Then you can stamp that wherever you need it to create your leather impressions onto your repair job before it dries, so it will dry with the correct texture. Then I'll be able to thin down my leather / vinyl repair compound and actually spray it on in order to make it a spray form. So I can make it in a putty form or a spray form, and I can spray in order to spray over like the whole steering wheel or over the whole floor thing in order to make it look all completely brand new and blended in. So that's the plan. It's gonna be really fun. And let me just figure out where to put my phone so I can record everything. Let's see. You guys are all caught up to where I'm at now. A lot of this is actually aesthetic work. Because the fire did not destroy a whole lot of stuff. Just the electronics for the windows was the main thing that got ruined. Is this the Divine vehicle? Yeah, because this vehicle started on fire because of a cigarette the day after I donated the proceeds for another van I just had fixed and sold. I just got paid. Alright, so I fixed and sold my dad's old van. Not this one, but the one before it. I fixed and sold it. And then I got the money for that. And then like that was $6,000. And then the very next day or 2 days later, a pastor in Kenya asked me for $6,000 to buy himself a van. And he had no idea I just got paid 2 days prior $6,000 for a van I just sold. So I sent the $6,000 to that pastor. And I was like, well, shoot, there goes my money, you know, like, but I trust God to recover my finances and everything. So fast forward, I think the very next day, this van started on fire from a cigarette, dropping some ashes into a phone book in the door card, in the door panel. And so the whole van started on fire on the interior, got put out by the firefighters. And then I basically got the van for free from my dad. And now I get to fix it up and make approximately $6,000 profit on the sale of this van. So maybe even $7,000 profit. So then basically God just restored the money I just gave like the day after I gave it, and had me give it like the day after I got it. So within 3 days I gained $6,000, lost $6,000, gained it back with a little bit of interest. But despite that all happening in 3 days, the actual work to refurbish this van is much more than 3 days, but it's still delayed money that I got at the time of the sale. People say you make your money when you make your sale or when you acquire the deal to begin with, when it comes to like doing flips and stuff. Okay, so I just peeled back everything. I just tore it back, and now I'm going to be able to repair all this damage from the back side. But a lot of crud got sprayed when I just did that, so I need to clean it real good with Windex and paper towel. Oh no! Yeah, just the interior's messed up. The van actually runs really well still. I've cleaned up the interior of this for hours and hours and hours already. I've done a lot of work already to get it to where it's at now. It looks way better now. Like if you saw it when I first got it, you'd be like, nope, that van's garbage, just throw it away. But now it looks totally doable because a lot of the hard work's already been done. Alright, I was going to sand it again, but I'll skip that step. I've already sanded this down from the backside with just reaching my fingers around. So I was going to sand it for you guys again. I sanded about 1.5 inches all around where I'm going to be gluing on my backing fabric. So I'm not going to show that because I already did it, and the sandpaper I was using blew away because it's a windy day. So I'm going to skip that part. Just know that I did it. I'm using Loctite vinyl and plastic flexible adhesive because this is vinyl in order to glue on my backing fabric. For my backing fabric, I'm going to be using 1000 denier nylon cloth. And I think we did run out, but I've got leather adhesive right here, which is for leather and vinyl, I believe. So I'm going to smother that all over. Sure did not come with that much. That's all we got, boys. For my leather repair kit. This thing was like mostly empty too. So anyways, I believe we have just enough. Okay. Let's just go ahead. We gotta hurry. Who knows how long this stuff takes to set up. Okay. All right, and then one more. Maybe two more. All right, and now this one. Throw some tape on. This is adhesive transfer tape on nitrile rubber glove. Okay. 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 Alright, I've got some GE All Project paintable silicone. I'm going to actually add that to my glue. Oh. Add a stick of screwdriver in it. Alright, so now it should come out fine. There it goes. All right. I'm gonna try to just put kind of sort of heavy stuff around the area. You gotta tape it so it doesn't fall over or move. I'm putting strategic pressure points to hold down curved sections of vinyl that are not sticking, like laying flat, so that it will get glued flat. As it dries, it'll flatten out. Because some of the vinyl is kind of curved up where the hole is, and I'm trying to press it down around the borders, putting strategic pressure points. This corner I don't like. I gotta, let's see. I actually ran out of heavy stuff. Let me get more heavy stuff. I can't really. Unfortunately, that base I put of silicone underneath all this is still wet, and it's starting to deform under the weight of these things I'm putting above here to hold these flaps down. And so that's kind of messing me up here. What I can do is shave off or sand off the flaps that are sticking up, like the curled edges. I can just sand that off, even with a Dremel. Just get rid of it. So the main thing is just kind of generally holding it down in bulk, which is already happening. So I should be okay. This is a little spatula that I got from art class, like in 2005? 17 years ago. It's for like mixing paint. You can even paint with it actually. So I'm just using that to smooth out the paintable silicone. The paintable silicone definitely sticks to plastics. And because it's paintable, I'll definitely be able to apply any type of latex on top of it, because paintable silicone normally you use indoors and you paint over it with latex based paints, and this is what this is made of, latex. So this is actually perfect as your glue, and luckily I had it on board because I ran out of both the Loctite vinyl fabric and plastic, and I ran out of the leather adhesive, and I just needed more glue because this is a pretty big repair, and I want it to be strong. So that actually benefited me because I think that this paintable silicone is way stronger than both of those two glues combined. I mean, this is like industrial level stuff. Silicone's king of sticky. I'm not sure how good the silicone can sand though. I was just gonna hide this hole with some really expensive floor mats, which I would sell with the van. But because I'm doing the repair, I'll be able to get rid of those floor mats. I spent like $150 on them, I think. They're really expensive. So I'll just sell them on eBay and recover some of that money so that my profit margin for the job will be a lot higher. Just to hide a big hole is not ideal anyways. This is the best way to do it, just to fix it right. All right, let me catch up on chat. What is this? A repair on a floor liner for a van. All right, boys, I'm gonna go through a little bit more information that I didn't talk about yet. So we've got this panel just about off, and I bought an all new panel for this dash panel. And as you can see, also the radio got melted real bad. You can see the buttons are all melted, and so did this thing, got like melted. So I bought a new weather control thing and a new radio that matched the van. So both those parts can be replaced, and I can replace this. I bought all that stuff. The steering wheel you can replace too, but I think this is salvageable, and it'll be a fun salvage job. Super cheap too. Like literally $10 materials, and just fun to have that skill. That's how proper restoration should be done. There's this channel on YouTube called DIY Gang, and he took a burnt vehicle and he's like, guys, I can restore this. And I was super psyched, right? Then he bought a donor vehicle which looked brand new, took like 2 parts off the burnt vehicle and said, hey, I restored the burnt vehicle. Yeah, you took like 2 bolts off it and put it on a brand new vehicle. That's not restoring the original burnt vehicle. That's just using another vehicle and keeping like 2 things off the burnt vehicle. To really restore a burnt vehicle, you have to use as much of the burnt vehicle's parts as possible, fixing those parts. Like these seats, you fix the burnt seats, you reupholster it, and you repair any foam that's too badly gone. To do a panel like this, you've got to actually like sculpt the panel. You sculpt it out, and then you apply a vinyl compound, and you texture it in order to match the original, and you can compare it to a non-burnt side or to an unburnt vehicle, and then you paint it all. So you're actually like rebuilding and repairing stuff that was burnt. That's how you do it. You can buy panels, you can buy a lot of stuff, but just to use a whole new vehicle, that's cheating. That's cheating. Okay, so that was very unsatisfying when you did that. I'm probably still subscribed to him, but I'm mad. He could have totally done way more to the original vehicle and kept as much as possible. The goal is to try to keep as much as you can. Even like wheeler dealers, they would just replace these seats, but no, I'm gonna fix the seats. Also, by the way, to get this seat off, you have to remove this seat in order to access this electrical panel, and I had to access this to test the fuse for the windshield, for the windows, which weren't working. But it ended up being a wiring issue that was somewhere else, which I fixed already off camera. I was actually going to do a lot of this job off camera, but I decided I need to be recording this stuff. So anyways, as you're pulling this off, you need to be careful because there's electrical connectors on the backside, which are really hard to get off. But you can see, like there's 2 connectors. One I got off, the other one I'm having a hard time. Here's 2 more connectors, right here in the center of the screen right now. You can see I popped off part of a blue thing. I don't know what I'm doing really. And then there's another connector. These are just really hard to get off. Here's another one kind of hidden right here. So I need like a mini screwdriver, and I need to press the tab and gingerly pull it out. It's just really difficult for some reason. I've never had so much problems with unplugging little connectors. In fact, one of the connectors, the tab you have to push in to be able to pull it out, the push-in tab snapped in half. Maybe these tabs, because of the high heat, got kind of brittle and they're not like working as well because everything got kind of melty up here. Who knows how hot it got. So that's probably part of the reason why it's so difficult for me. So anyways, you can see I kind of got a mess of tools and stuff here, but we're fixing that. Then I'm going to paint everything back here, tuck it back in. I'm actually going to cut away some of the extra because there's too much material here. Because the original foam was probably this high, and over time it compresses, and then you end up with like, the material was puffed up and like that, but now it's flat. So you just have like wrinkles and just excess truck bed floor liner. So I'm going to be cutting away some of the extra and then tucking it back so it'll all be tight and flat. Then I'm going to be painting it all with this special product. Let me show you the product. It's called Jet Black by Turtle Wax. I tape the applicator onto it, and so I'll be able to use that to paint all the floor liner. It's going to look so good, guys. With all new dark black floor, it's going to look sick. And I bought a new door card to cover this, the plastic thing. And then this weather seal, I bought this new like glue. I forget what it's called. It comes in like a tape, and I have to just trace it because a lot of it got melted away or scraped away in the fire. This is the door where the fire actually started. So as you can see, I actually scraped off tons of molten plastic that was just like caked onto here. I was able to pop it off with a screwdriver. Here's some that's still left on there. A lot of this you can peel away if you're willing to take the time. So I wanted to peel away a lot of it, but I'm not getting too crazy with it. I just wanted most of it gone. I could technically like clean this all to look stock and repaint it, but it's like this is going to be completely hidden in the door. Although getting rid of a lot of it will probably help with the smell, so I'm glad I got rid of a lot of it, because it'll give off like a maybe smoky smell. So then for this, I'm going to use shower liner for a shower curtain, or for showers. I have that. I'm going to use that for this, and I'm going to re-weather seal the whole thing, and then I'm going to snap on and screw on the new door card, it's called, I think. Door panel with the handle and everything. So you guys should have seen the before pictures. Was crazy how melted all this was. So getting that all popped off, getting the window fixed, this is actually working. It's a miracle that this works. I mean, look at how melted up it is, and it still works. It's so funny, man. I got this working. It did not burn up the wires internally inside the motor. It only burned up some of the casing, and I tested this thoroughly. It works great. And it's hard to find these. I couldn't even find this. It's like a motor with a chain and it connects over here. I could not find that anywhere on eBay. So I was really happy to be able to get the original stuff all working again. Alright, so I guess that's everything for now. Here's the wiring for the dome light. You can see two wires coming down. And then they're just frayed and whatever. I need to test the voltage on those and possibly change out a fuse. I gotta get that wired because that's real important. I could even tap into the wiring for the rear view camera. I could find a positive and ground for that and tap into that and send it to the dome light. So that might be something I do, because that's a good place to tap in right there, because then I can go underneath. As far as the padding that was up here, it's got to be padded. Oh wow, you can see the seal that was between here got like melted back. It still looks okay though. So yeah, this is urethane foam, and so that's what they use to insulate the ceiling, so when it rains it doesn't get real loud in here. So I need to do something to like re-beef this out this much, and I'm thinking of just using foam floor underlay that they use under wood floors and gluing that with Super 77 glue and gluing that to here, maybe like 3 or 4 layers, because it's only like 1/8 of an inch thick. So if I do like 4 layers, that will be 3/8 of an inch, which is like a little under 1/2 inch thick. That should beef it up to its original thickness of insulation, about that thick. And then over that we can put our new leather roof liner, which I already bought. It's black leather roof liner I bought for it, even though the original was like gray. I'm doing all black because that'll be easier just to have black, because I bought black seat covers. The original is gray. I'm doing black for that too. So a lot of things that were gray, I'm doing black. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be like all blacked out interior. Just it's easier to work with all one color. Have you ever done this with a car, van, truck before? No, I haven't. The last van I inherited from my dad, like every time he has an old work van, I buy it off him when he goes to buy his new one, rather than let him trade it in. I buy it from him, I fix it up and clean it up, and then I sell it for a profit, usually to my father-in-law. So far I've done this once, so not usually. One time this all happened. This is the second time I'm doing this to a van. So yes, I have cleaned up and flipped a van before, but I was just washing it, dent repair, a little bit of body work, a little bit of rusted panels that I had to sand down, rust encapsulate, prime, and paint on the exterior. So it was mostly just aesthetic on the exterior, but this is significant interior work that I'm doing here, and so that's a little different than anything I've done. I've definitely never done leather repair, and I'm really excited about that. And basically this is the first step. You gotta glue down a backing fabric for the strength, and then if you need to sand down or whatever, smooth out the edges that are curling up. You can see the edges are curling up a little bit, like right here. You can see that's curled up slightly. So I want to smooth that out with the Dremel. I can just sand it down, and then I'm gonna, like, you can see these edges are curling up too, real bad right there. So I'll sand that all down with the Dremel, and then I'm gonna fill in, because there's like a gap in thickness between the backing fabric and here. I'm gonna layer in well, I could use paintable silicone to fill that in to raise the height, just in thin layers, and then sand it between applications. Or I can use leather repair compound, which I know how to make DIY using acrylic paint and textile medium. Just artist acrylic and textile medium. And textile medium you can make yourself too, using vegetable glycerin, white vinegar, and water in the correct parts. I think it's like 2 parts vegetable glycerin, 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, white vinegar. I have to look up my notes on that, but I'm gonna make my own. I bought the vegetable glycerin, I already have white vinegar, I already have water. And so I'll be able to mix that in with my artist acrylics and actually make my own leather repair compound. I'm gonna need a ton of it. I need to be able to thin it as well in order to spray it. So sometimes I'm gonna be putting it on like a putty, other times I'm gonna be spraying it. Like with stains I can't get out like this, I'm gonna have to respray this thing. Now the Jet Black by Turtle Wax might actually hide something like that, so I might do that as well. We'll see. But it's good to have the ability and know-how to do spraying in case if I need to make like a custom color or something like that. But the Jet Black, since I'm doing everything black, that Jet Black's really going to help, because it lays really flat. It's very shiny and glossy. It looks beautiful when it's on there. And it is a dirty old work van anyways. I mean, how nice does that have to be, right? Look at how filthy it is. A lot of this I haven't cleaned. The floor back here, you can see where this is how the floor looked up here, but I've already cleaned this so thoroughly. But the floor back here, you can see it, like how filthy it is from both the fire and the soot from the fire, as well as from whatever else. And check this out. I didn't show you guys this yet. This is from the fire too. Oh, it's spreading. The paint's just chipping off. You can see the fire like caused the paint to start coming up, and this is a pretty large area. What I'm thinking of doing, I'll probably just navel jelly all of this, and then I will spray some type of rust encapsulator. Navel jelly will eat up the majority of the rust down to bare metal. Then I'll spray rust encapsulator. Then maybe I'll prime over that. Or actually, over the rust encapsulator, I could just paint it direct too. So I'll probably just paint it direct with white. Luckily, this is just plain white, which is nice. There's no pearl, there's no flakes, there's nothing fancy. It's just plain gloss white. That's really nice. So I don't have to do too much difficult stuff to get it to blend in. So I'll just spray it with gloss white, several coats, sanding between coats. I actually have a pancake air compressor and a spray gun, which I got for Christmas, the spray gun this year. So I'll be able to use that for this job. So I'm really happy about that. And then, I could use rattle cans too, though, for this, because it's just plain gloss white. So I might just use rattle cans. And then, over the top of that, I'm going to probably use a 2K clear coat, which is like a 2-part. It's pretty expensive. And I have that already purchased, so I'll probably use that, a couple coats. I want to make it nice and thick, and then it should last for years and years. Alright, so that's kind of the update on the project. I'll leave this to dry overnight, and I can check on it the next day and continue the next process. But all this silicone stuff needs time to dry. Alright, peace out, guys.